All right, this will do. We'll be looking at them sideways, but that's fine. I just set the camera up the same way and got all ready and went, well, there you go. Camera's got its back to the sun and it's shade all over. All right, so here is the front. Oh, while I was off camera, I decided that these were upside down and I got them all matched up just right. Just these last 3 pages, which were the buffer pages. And one thing I didn't mention also was that because I got them mixed up so easily the first time, and I wound up with pages front and back that I wanted to frame, and I couldn't frame both sides. But now I see how they fit together in a book, so there we go. Okay, this one has a lot of yellow-orange, some nice brown, and some nice oxidized color that reads a lot as a lavender, a violet, purple. And these effects were just from the raffia around the book. Let's get the knot, that's real pretty. There it is. The raffia around the book, and some of the rust leaching through the waxed paper, and then the waxed paper where it's touching the paper and hasn't come away. Whoops. It stays white, and the weight of the pan, oh, I'm pointing at stuff on the weight of the pan makes some of the little speckles come through the waxed paper, yet it's still stuck to the paper, and then the water has seeped around in here with the rust, and that's where those marks come from. And the raffia, of course, was tied on very tightly, so it left a very nice, distinct impression. You might be seeing a cat tail come flicking in here in a minute. You see a big bird? Where's the bird? Oh. Okay. Anyway, I should talk less and show more. All right, here are the pine needle ones. These are exciting colors because they remind me of the Sumi ink work of Rico LeBrun and some of the Los Angeles figure painters of the late 40s and 1950s and in the 60s as well. Yeah, I have got a cat all over me right now. You know why? We had broiled cod for dinner last night. They did. So this is the facing page. I don't need to go over a lot. Here's how the pine needles look. I like having the bright light on this. Where did it go? There it is. To show the indentations. All right, on to the next one. Keep those together. Yeah, and you see here where they come together, there's this beautiful chiaroscuro on one, and on the other side it's more of a light brown. but the shapes move across. And the next one here has a lot of nice pine needle. I don't know what to call them. We've been calling them ghosts, shadows, impressions. Okay, now these two look like they don't go together, right? But actually they do. Right? They don't look like they go together. But when you put them together, you see the movement. And again, that's why it's a book. They take on even more meaning as a group. Now I'm starting to get them all mixed up. Okay, the pine, all right, goes there. These two really don't look like they belong together, but they do, because it's the pine right in the middle that was hanging out the edges of the pages. Okay. Some nice browns in here. Nice violet in here. It's a kind of a ghost of the page on top of it, too. On top of it. I am still recovering from that cold. This has some nice depth to it. These are much more sepia than the ones I've done before. They have mostly grays in them. But I like it with the depths, and that's why I stack up a bunch of things. Because these are things, you can just look at and imagine. They could be so many things, or they could be just what they are. Impressions of eucalyptus leaves here. And these delicate little shadows. This, I believe, was some wild anise that I picked, that little tiny stuff, and it was very dry. I just put it in. And you can see it in brown against the yellow there, which is, don't know. There's a nice yellow here, too. There we go. I didn't draw that. That's... Ooh. I see a nice donkey looking out, doot, 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 of banana leaves. Oh my. All right, well, that's what these things are for. Okay, curve. All right, little tiny things, little tiny things. And lots of beautiful yellows. You know, this may be redundant. It's possible that... Ooh, the earlier ones. showed some of that up, whatever that was that I was talking about. Here's the, I think the first onion skin that we're running into here. Let's see if we can get some of the detail of that. And there's a nice bluish color. So we have kind of a yellow and violet complementary color harmony going on. Isn't that pretty? This is what I love about these cameras. It's being able to share these really intense visuals. Doesn't that look like a watercolor of a leaf? Well, it is. It's a leaf, and there was water, and there was color. And it's on watercolor paper. Oh, these look like flowers in vases in an impressionist painting. Just here, there are the flowers. Here are the vases. I don't know what else is going to be in this if I scoot on down. Oh, my. Oh. So there they are, they're leaves again, but there are whole little worlds in these. This is really, okay, this one and that one. So some really nice little tiny stuff in here. And you've got a yellow and a kind of an orange and a nice violet right there. Look at that. So these you can turn into little worlds, and you can work back into them with pencil or ink or watercolor or felt tips. I worked back into one with watercolor pencils, and this paper is fairly soft, so I have a ways to go on it, but it was really fun to do. I'm not sure which watercolor pencils I was using. The Prismacolor watercolor pencils are just loaded with color. Here's Harley again. No, not the picture. That shadow was the cat. Ooh. Because they're from nature, so many things are in them. It was fun. Here are the beautiful onion skins. And let's see, it looks like I laid them down in here first, and then I laid the leaves on top of them. So in both of them, the leaves are in the foreground. Huh? Yeah, the leaves. It doesn't make any sense. I guess I put them down separately. And they spread. No, here's a difference. Okay. So here the leaf was between. Yeah, so all the onion skin was all put on here, and then the leaves were put on top of it. This one blocked a lot out. There's a nice lavender in there. And these were all dried. Oh, no, not again. This one looks upside down to me. Okay, those go that way. And this is why we bind books. Now, after all of that, before getting all this in order, I'm just going to put all this back because I have gone wrong somewhere. And I'm done with trying to figure this out. Looks like here's where I went wrong. I can't believe this. I'll have to go back through the video and figure out what I did before. I tried to avoid this problem before by numbering all of the pages, and I didn't do front and back. I only did fronts and the pages together and didn't do anything on the between pages. And I numbered them all in watercolor pencil. And it didn't really spread or anything, but it was still hard. All right, I'm going to go back to sorting these out and put them down.